Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is August 16th, and right now we are going to look at the storm system we've been talking about here for the last 5 or 6 days. It is off the coast. It is poised to strike, and it is going to bring some severe weather potentially across portions of western Washington and portions of Oregon and the Cascades. And we're going to take a look at the threats from the system here. There's a wind threat, there's hail threat, there's a flooding threat, and there's dangerous lightning that is going to be accompanying these storms. So if I put this into motion, you can clearly see the trough. It's all the way past the California-Oregon border as we go through last night. We scroll through this morning, and you can see thunderstorm activity already developing. The system is poised and ready to strike. We're also going to take a look at the extended forecast as we go through the video here this morning, taking a look at what happened yesterday. We're going to scroll all the way back into the morning hours. You see the thunderstorm activity really spawn across some of northeast Oregon into southeast Washington. You can see the Cascades start to go off a bit here for Washington and up into British Columbia. A lot of lightning across the higher terrain of Idaho and western Montana as well, and up towards the Rocky Mountains. So as we scroll on in towards this morning, you can see the moisture out there. We are going to have some thunderstorm activity today, but tomorrow looks to be the big day across the region. Now, taking a look at the National Weather Service Seattle, they are mentioning the thunderstorm threat here. They're underplaying it quite a bit here. I kind of wish that they'd bump up the graphics a little bit. The odds are higher than this, and we do have severe weather threat across some of the region. And you notice they're not talking about it much here on the page itself. If you dive into the forecast discussion, they are mentioning it here, but they could probably be drawing a little bit more attention to it. Here's the flash flood watch for the Cascades of Washington and Oregon as well. We go down towards Medford, and you can see we have fire weather watches here still across some of the southern Oregon Cascades. And if we go up to Pendleton and Spokane, they are talking about it a bit more here as well. So there is this thunderstorm threat as we go through Saturday and Saturday night. And of course, the flash flood watches are in effect for some pretty heavy rainfall amounts coming in a short period of time. And if they develop over some of the burn scar areas or the active fires, they can cause some flooding. You get some mud flows. So this is Spokane National Weather Service here, and you can kind of see again flash flooding there. This is for Friday and Saturday. Now, taking a look at today, you can see again northern Washington, including Spokane, just clipping Pendleton there, maybe some of the Blue Mountains, Idaho Panhandle, western Montana. But tomorrow's the big day, and look, we have the rare marginal risk here for severe weather. And if you look here, that is wind and hail, and that goes right up towards the Seattle metro here. So this is interesting stuff. We're going to take a look at the weather models starting in a moment, but you see Sunday we actually still have some remnant instability around. We could trigger a thunderstorm, especially earlier in the day on Sunday or across western Washington, some of the Cascades. Now, taking a look at what is going to be going on here over the next 60 hours, looking at the composite reflectivity or what the Doppler radar may look like. And if we put this into motion, you can see the thunderstorm activity today. But what we really want to pay attention to is this system down here. Of course, we've been talking about it for days now. Starts to bring some shower activity as we go through late Saturday morning across western Oregon, moves out across some of the coastal areas. Then look at these storms just blossom across the southern Willamette Valley, some of the foothills, the Cascades of Oregon. Look at these storms here. Very heavy rainfall could be associated with some of these storms as they move across the Oregon-Washington border, sweep up across the Cascades of Washington. This would have probably a shelf cloud and some structure on it, as well as some prolific lightning, some very gusty winds as well as we go through Saturday. That's about 9 p.m. Saturday night. Tomorrow night here, you can see it approaching Chehalis and Olympia, Tacoma, Seattle, North Seattle, Everett, up towards the San Juans, Whidbey Island, Bellingham. Look at this line of storms, and perhaps a couple rounds of it too as well. And as we go through early Sunday morning, maybe another few showers still rolling around with that activity. What a dynamic system incoming here, folks. And if we take a look at just off the surface at 2,500 feet, I want to show you this system and some of the winds it has the potential to bring with it. So if we scroll up and through the day Saturday, you'll see the winds start to come up out of the south here. And look at this. We've got these northeast winds ripping across and the north winds coming down the Puget Sound. And then look at this convergence as this wind just comes blasting up here. I mean, you got the pretty decent northerlies meeting up with some southerlies and southwesterly winds, and just some strong convergence on the front of the system as it moves up and across the area. Pretty dynamic, likely going to have some severe wind gusts of 58 miles per hour or more for some select locations. And one more time, let's look at that. This is the Seattle metro. We're zoomed way in, but we're going to scroll on into the day Saturday, and you'll see the northerly winds develop here as we go through the afternoon. And then just look at this surge with this thunderstorm activity. I almost called it severe. I don't want to get too hyped up here, but it could be severe, and it could be prolific lightning producing as it moves across the region here, as you see that wind just flow through the Puget Sound. Now, if we take a look at the accumulated max 10-meter wind gusts, I'm going to put this into motion here, and this is, This is basically capturing all the wind gusts here. And you can see, look at some of these gusts here around the Puget Sound are up over 40, 45, maybe 48 miles per hour. Could even be locally higher for some areas. And look at some of the wind coming across the gorge, Washington, Oregon, ripping out into eastern Washington and Oregon as well. Some very intense wind potentially with this system here. So heads up, could bring some blowing dust across eastern Oregon and Washington as well. And I'm going to show you something known as the K index here. It's just basically thunderstorm potential. It's all we need to know right now. It's just the temperature, lapse rate, and some moisture content of the atmosphere. But if I show you that, you're going to kind of get the picture of what's coming. So if we scroll on in through the day Saturday, you see the atmosphere just destabilize as we go through the afternoon hours. The thunderstorm activity comes ripping across the region. And then as we go on into Sunday, maybe still a thunderstorm or two across the region before the system finally lifts up and out of the area. But that's not the end of that upper level low as well. And then we have something else coming in the extended forecast I'm going to show you here in a minute. Now looking at the HRR, let's see if it agrees with the North American model. This is high resolution. You see the thunderstorm activity today across the North Cascades. Put that into motion and you can see the thunderstorm activity just blossom again across western Oregon, move up across the Puget Sound, the Cascades of Washington. Look at this, would be prolific lightning producing system all the way up into southwest BC as we go on in through Saturday night into Sunday morning. So good agreement from the high resolution rapid refresh there. Let's take a look at the European. What does it say as far as lightning potential is concerned? There it goes today. You can see the thunderstorm activity out there. But what everybody wants to know about, of course, is what it looks like for Saturday. And you can see the showers developing lightning potential late Saturday morning for some western Oregon. Look at this cluster move up across the region here, just targeting some Olympia, Tacoma, Seattle Metro, up towards Whidbey Island, San Juan Islands here. Bellingham might get in this action as well. And you can see that second round maybe moving through very late Saturday night into Sunday morning before it finally clears out. But if we go on in towards, I don't know if it's going to show it yet, but we do have additional thunderstorm threat as we go through the middle of next week. So going a little fast today because I'm trying to pack this all in. And this is what we're looking at again, the K index. You can see the European, of course, destabilizes the atmosphere quite nicely here as we go through the afternoon Saturday. Then the system lifts up and out of the region. Now, 6-hour precipitation amounts, these are concerning as well. This is a high resolution model. And if we scroll on in, of course, through Saturday, these are just 6-hour totals, some of them approaching 2+ inches across some of the Oregon and the Washington Cascades and across some of the Puget Sound Metro, especially the southern Puget Sound, maybe Tacoma, Olympia, Chehalis, some very heavy precipitation amounts. So these can be very problematic when they occur over some of the ongoing fires or recent burn scar areas. It can cause those debris and mud flows. So we really got to watch out for that. Some very impressive rainfall amounts associated with this system, as you can see it track up and across the region as we go through the day Sunday. And this is just to show you where all those fires are. So we have quite a few targets for that heavy rain to, to make those debris flows. Now, I talked about this yesterday, and you got to love being part of this channel, right? Because we beat the National Weather Service to the punch a lot of these times. I mentioned that they probably would put an excessive rainfall outlook on. Well, I don't remember my exact wording exactly, but you can see we are now included in that, and some pretty intense rainfall amounts approaching 3/4 of an inch in an hour here. So yeah, you got to watch out for that. But they are all over it. Day 2 excessive rainfall outlook now includes the Pacific Northwest. And now looking at the GFS last night. So here goes our system for Saturday. And then we get this upper level low sitting off the coastal area here. And then it wants to try to lift across the region. We could get some additional thunderstorm activity as we go through the day Wednesday here. All areas would be open to that. And then you can see the GFS drops another trough down towards California here. And this would keep us in some southerly flow, which could possibly bring some thunderstorms as we go through next weekend as well. No promises on that. That is a fantasy forecast right now. This is bound to change quite a bit as we look off into the extended forecast. But actually, let's go ahead and do this. And let's show last night's European model run just to kind of get some comparison. So if we put this into motion, I'll make that a little bit bigger. And there goes our system as we speak right now. The big storm on Saturday into Sunday. You can see the upper level low wobble and then eject across. Well, not truly eject, but it does spin back across the region. And then, yeah, pretty good agreement here with another deep low moving down off the coastal areas here. And of course, any change in that track here could bring thunderstorm activity to places along the west coast. So kind of interesting signal there. There is a little bit to that, but still a fantasy forecast. And we were going to look at the European as of last night as well. Let's look at, this is the updated one here. You can see that upper level low spinning, then push over the region, then the next one starts to drop down here. So we got some fun stuff coming through the extended forecast also. And you guys know me, we like to look at the visual aspects of our atmosphere. This is about 18,000 feet. This is looking at temperature, so you can really see this bowling ball here of cold air that's bringing us our storm system, then just wants to spin and wobble off the coastal areas here. And then you can see the next one get dropped off and also get cut off and move down our coastline there as well. So yeah, extended forecast fun there. This is Mount Hood. You can see we do get this precipitation in a short amount of time, and that's why we're so concerned about some flooding across some of the burn scar areas or active fires. Seattle Tacoma, as we go through Saturday night here, it looks like a pretty rainy period, and one of the ensemble members is up over an inch there. Now taking a look at Vancouver International, I've heard some people talking about the models backing off for Canada, but you're still going to get thunderstorm activity, and these models aren't perfect with depicting where these thunderstorms are going to occur. So you're still under the gun here across Southwest BC for thunderstorm activity very late Saturday night and on into Sunday morning. Yakima as well. You cannot rule out thunderstorms developing on the initial, on the gust front of some of that wind coming across the region. Some of the instability could bring some thunderstorm activity off into eastern Washington. You see the ensembles picking up on that a little bit. And here's Whistler here as well. Looks like a 1-2 punch as we go through Friday night and on in through Sunday night here as well. But looking at the vertically integrated smoke, I want to play this through because it kind of gives us a nice little break. You can see with all this moisture coming across the region, we are going to at least put a little bit, we're going to give some relief to that fire activity here. So you can see at 48 hours Sunday morning, things are looking better here across the region. And this is surface smoke as well. If I put that into motion, you can kind of see something similar there. We do get a bit of a break here from some of the smoke across a lot of the region. Here's the national blend of models. This is for today, and here's Saturday here. We might warm up pretty decently during the daytime on Saturday with a moist atmosphere and warming things up. There could be some convective available potential energy, especially aloft, that could be helping out with some of these wind gusts and that prolific lightning and maybe even some hail. And of course, the heavy rain, 6 to 10 days. See the below normal signal here with the troughing setting up off the west coast. The 6 to 10 day precipitation above average. There's the 8 to 14 day, kind of like above average signal here starting to show up as we go towards the end of August. So we may end up this month above average across much of the region. 8 to 14 day precipitation as well. And also, I did put out my El Nino / La Nina update here, and what potentially is coming for the fall and winter months here. So make sure to click on that. You can see it on my channel, and I'll leave it to the bottom left here. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to go live at some point either tonight or I'll do another video tonight. We'll look at all this information again, and we'll try to pinpoint any changes that may be occurring, and we'll even take a look at the extended forecast also. So yeah, check it out. La Nina should be on the bottom left here. The monthly update for August 2024, all new information and all new information about the Climate Prediction Center's predictions as we go on in through the fall, the winter into early spring. So anyway, otherwise, I hope you guys are having a good day. Hope you are ready for some crazy weather tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys later.